What's up, boys? It's Nick from Team Tail 501 here. I'm the king of the scrubs, and today I'm bringing you my domain Monarch tech profile. It's the only deck I own. It's the only deck that I'm going to play for the next couple of months. I have a regional in December. I don't want to play this deck, but I will if I have to, because let me tell you right now, this deck is garbage. It is pure and utter garbage. There are way too many hand traps that beat this deck. It's super slow, it's super inconsistent, and it's really... It's a floodgate deck, but it's not a floodgate deck. Like, Paleo is a better deck than this is, and Paleo's fucking shit. So, but, basically, if you want to play something fun, and you can build this deck for $40 probably, 50 at most. This deck is super cheap. So, like, if you want a super cheap deck that you can troll people at locals with, which is what I plan on doing, this is the deck for you, as long as you don't care about winning, because this deck is garbage. You will not win with this deck very much. So, without further ado, let's go through the list. 1 Aether, it's the best card in the deck. RIP, but, yeah, play Aether, really good. 3 Erebus, Boss Monster. The card that you don't want to play, but you have to. Like, the non-targeting removal is kind of cool, but, like, on summon, they'll just firewall it, and then even though you spend the firewall, they kill you, so. Caius helps going second, but it's not super great. This deck is just garbage, so no matter how you look at it, even if you go first and establish the lock, you're probably still going to lose. Yeah, this sleeve is garbage. But, yeah, so he's here for going second, and even if you go first, you have ways of mitigating his damage. 3 Karaz. T-Wiz is the one who kind of gave me inspiration for this deck, although most people know that I've played this deck for way too long. I've been playing it ever since it came out, and let me tell you right now, if Aether was at 3, Karaz is shit. But now that Aether's at 1, Karaz is the best card in the deck. Because it gives you the versatility that you need to not only go through your deck to hit your combo pieces, it's also a removal spell. So you can blow up their cards, they draw, but you don't care, you've removed their threats. And then 3 Vanity's Fiend, the card that says you win the game. If you draw it and you summon it and it doesn't get purple poisoned. True Draco is still your hardest matchup, but there's nothing you can do about it. Like, I don't really want to play this deck for the regional for that specific reason. Spiral and True Draco absolutely beat you. And those are the 2 best decks in the game, so don't play this deck, but I know people at my locals aren't going to play it, so that's it for the tribute fodder, or for the tribute guys. And then for tribute fodder, 3 Idea, 3 Eidos, you just need to have one of these in your hand in order to play the game. Like, I cannot emphasize this enough. This deck loses to way too much. So in order to compensate for that, you have to play more copies of bad cards. Like, I would normally play 2 Eidos because he's garbage, but you have to play 3 because you need to see a Squire in your opening hand, or else you just won't play. And then I'm playing 3 Gofu. Like, Gofu Karaz Return is a net 0 on card advantage, but it filters Aether out of your deck, so you know you won't banish it off Desires. Yes, I'm playing Desires. And Gofu's just here as another tribute fodder. You can play Link Slayer, you can play Kaiser Horse Raider, you can play Mithra, but I think Gofu's the best. 20 monsters, onto the spells. 3 domain. This is like, it's your win button, basically. You activate this card and you tell your opponent, fuck you! Oh, that's basically what this card says. It's a giant middle finger to your opponent. So if you go first and you activate this, and you summon a tribute monster, and they don't kill it, then you probably win. 9 times out of 10, you can probably win the game. And then, 3 Tenacity, so you can search, but this card loses to draw on Lockbird harder than any other card. 3 Return, so you can search your good cards, even though you're playing a bad deck. And then, RIP, this card's broken. This card should come back to 3, though. It would do nothing. Stormforth, this card is ridiculous from day 1. I've been saying that. This card's fucking nuts. March is a way to protect your guys. And Frostblast helps you mitigate the back row going second, because this deck struggles going second, so this is a good way to just clear the back row, clear the set monsters, make sure you can go for game. Yeah, you need to play this card. You don't give a fuck about what you banish. Even if you banish Pantheism, Stormforth, and Aether, you don't care. The +1's too good. you can win without those cards. It makes it easier to win if you have those cards. You can win without them. So play Desires in this deck. Upstart, Foolish, Rhoda, 1-for-1, the Holy Trinity of Monarchs. You basically have to play these cards, because if you don't, then you're doing it wrong. That's it for the spells, and then for the traps, 3 Prime, no other traps. Escalation's bad, Monarch's Erupt is bad. I don't know what else you want me to say. But Prime is just a really good card. Being able to summon itself for tribute fodder and put stuff back in your deck, super, super versatile. That's it for the main deck. It's a 42 main deck. These were cards 41 and 42. And I don't regret it. I hate 42 card decks, but I didn't know what to cut for these cards. I really wanted to have access to them in my deck. So these are like super useful in that sense. And plus, like, playing 42 doesn't hurt you. My Link Divider. No extra. Moving on to the side. Triple Zaphion. This card is fucking broken. This is like the best side deck monster right now. Maybe outside of this fucker, but this card is utterly ridiculous. Every time you're going second, you swap out your Gofus and you play this card. And you tell your opponent to fuck off. And then Maxi, rather this get Ash than Pantheism. But you never draw it. You banish it off Desires 100 times out of 100. Majesty Fiend, because fuck Pendulum Magicians, and this card's like pretty good against Draco. But you don't side it in against Draco. And then if you're going first against Spiral, I like Megazaborg because you can take their Firewalls and their Double Helixes out of their extra deck and just leave them with garbage. And so basically their plan at that point is just spam the field with guys, and then they make like Deco Talker and stuff. Sometimes they make like Borreload Dragon, but basically what you do is you summon Zaborg, and if it doesn't get ogred, you take all their Firewalls. So let's just say they're playing 2 Firewalls, so you take 2 Firewall, you take the 3 Double Helix, you take Borreload Dragon, you take whatever rank 4, and then you can take the Lyreless guy if you want, but basically you get rid of the 8 most important cards in the extra deck. Board wipes. You don't have to play this card. I know it's expensive, but I have the card, so I'm going to play it. You can play the Kaijus if you want. Kaijus might be better, but I don't have the Kaiju engine, so... Alright, here's the card that's going to give me more shit than Desires. Here's the thing with this card. Vanity Fiend in this is pretty good. It's basically the same as Vanity Fiend March. Vanity Fiend in this, you basically win against Spiral. They have almost no outs. Like, they need to have Super Agent and the guy that gives them 1,000. And even then, that they only kill the Vanity Fiend. They still can't do anything with this card on the field. So it stops Edia and it stops Pantheism and whatnot. Or actually, no, it only stops you searching. Yeah, you can draw still, so you can still activate Pantheism. That's ridiculous. 2 Econ for going second. Basically, with this card, it's to dodge Ash Blossom, so... Basically, you can normal Edia, activate, they Ash it, you chain enemy controller to tribute Edia, take a guy. And so now that Edia's left the field, Ash doesn't negate it. So you get your Squire out, and you take their monster. So, like, Econ's the best side deck card. It is just really good. And then, when you want to say fuck you to Pendulum Magicians, you play Magical Spring. This can draw you... Like, the thing is with this card, it's not as good in this deck as it is in Fluffles, but... Because sometimes you have, like, Domain and Return Up and Prize. So, like, sometimes you have to discard a bunch, but you have a lot of stuff you can discard. You have Eidos to discard, Prime, Frostblast, Pantheism, Erebus. You can discard almost any card in your deck and benefit from discarding it. So Magical Spring is super good against the Pendulum matchup. So that's going to do it for the Domain Monarch deck profile. There's absolutely nothing that I can really say about this deck that has not been said before. This is basically a Floodgate and Hope deck. Like I said, this deck is terrible, but I refuse to... It's the only deck that I own that I can physically play, because the Fluffle deck I sold at the regional so I could, like, eat, because fucking people didn't bring lunch money, and they fucked me in the ass, but... Honestly, I just want a deck that can beat Spiral, and that won't cost me too much money. So I'm thinking about building Paleo, but I don't really want to, because Paleo isn't that, like, my style of deck. I'm thinking about putting Cyframes back together, as the deck's, like, really cheap now. The deck is just really cheap, and I have my core at home. So, let me know what you think of this deck in the comment section down below. Let me know what budget picks you have for Spirals in this upcoming format. Basically, my budget is like $100, $50. The cheaper, the better. Because basically, I'd have to sell this deck for my money back, and basically, my only money is in the form of this card. They're like $4 a copy. This is like $4 a copy. I have some other cards I can sell, but basically, my budget's $100. So anything under $100, leave it in the comment section, and I'll test it for the regional. Because I'm desperate, and I don't want to play this deck, because as much as I love this deck, and I play it with passion, it's garbage. It will not get me my invite. I want to go to Nats again. I want to prove I can play this game, so leave anything in the comment section, your budget pick, what you think about Monarchs, whatever. I link to the Twitter in the description down below. Go follow me on Twitter, and if I can get my dueling book working, because my computer is ass, I'll have the deck list in the description down below as well, so you won't have to watch this, but whatever. Anyway, my name is Nick from Team 20501. Thanks for watching, and get good, plebs. I'll see you next time.